Good morning and welcome on our first Sunday back in our sanctuary. Welcome to those in the room and welcome to those online on our website or our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. We are so delighted to have a musical guest with us this morning. And I want to make sure, Lisa, is it Viggiano? Is that right? Yes. We are delighted to have Lisa Viggiano with us this morning, a guest musician. And without further ado, we will open with music.
Chose this song, which is kind of about the grace of letting go. When I was a kid, I used to notice my grandparents would look out the window a lot. And I never got that, but I noticed the older I get, I look out the window a lot. And, you know, it's like a combination of peace meditation, or sometimes it's thinking, and sometimes it's the grace of letting go. And when October goes, the snow begins to fly above the smoky roofs. I watch the planes go by, the children running home beneath the twilight sky. Oh, for the fun of them when I was one of them. And when October goes, the same old dream appears, and I am in your arms to share the happy years. I turn my head away to hide the helpless tears. Oh, how I hate to see October go. Be over it now. I know. It doesn't matter much how old I grow. I hate to
Song. Good morning. My name is Marjorie Wormser. I'm your Sunday associate, a member of the worship arts team, and also a group called WEFT, the Welcome Engagement Fund Teams. So welcome to the Morristown Unitarian Fellowship. Ours is a spiritually alive, justice-centered, inclusive community. And whoever you are, wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. We are so glad you are here this morning. I have a couple of announcements. First, we are launching the Odyssey Project featuring Betsy Burr today at 1 p.m. here in our sanctuary and on Zoom. All are invited to join us. There will be a light lunch and cake following the second service and before the program. Also, mark your calendars. Next Sunday begins our annual service auction, Sunday, November 14th, and for the children's service auction, there will be a raffle. Candace Donaldson, who's in the back, maybe you could raise your hand for those who are in the room. Candace Donaldson will be outside in the Great Hall after each service to sell raffle tickets for the children's service auction. They are $1 a piece, a limit 20 per child, and you will pick up your tickets that you pay for today, you'll pick up next Sunday so they don't get lost in the shuffle during the week. And also I'd like to invite Joan Bells to come forward to share a special invitation for RAMP, the Refugee Assistance Morris Partners.
Thank you, Marjorie. I am so excited to bring you some really good news. 1 week from today, the Tahiri family, Afghan refugees, parents and 5 young daughters, will move into their new home in Boonton with a complete team of people to help them transition to life safely in this country. So you may ask, what does the fellowship have to do with this? A little background. About 6 years ago, during the Syrian war, our very own Tom McGinnis planted the seed for having an immigration ministry here at the fellowship. And that ministry has partnered with a nonprofit in Morris County area called RAMP, Refugee Assistance Morris Partners. And together with them, with your donations, with your kind addition of many volunteer hours, we have brought to this country 6 families. 1 from Syria and 5 from Afghanistan. And I'm happy to report that all of those families have gone on to independent living around this country. We've given them a life they wouldn't have had otherwise. So more good news. RAMP has received a very generous donation, enough funding for us to bring in 2 more families after the Tahiri family. So we have the funds. Obviously, there's a big need. You've all read about the thousands of refugees who are stuck in military bases around this country, right here in Fort Dix. What we need is volunteers, people who will step up and say, I will lead that team of tutors. I will lead that team of drivers. I will coordinate those people who are collecting used clothing, or I will coordinate those people who are looking for housing. We have a lot of volunteer veterans who could help you to know the steps to take. I have just volunteered to be the manager of the whole team. So if you say yes, we'll be on the same team. We can work together to give. Thank you. I mean, how often do you get a chance to actually give a life to a family that wouldn't have one otherwise? So I will be in the back with my little sign-up sheet, and we're now going to have a 2-minute video about what RAMP is and how you can help. Thank you.
Afghan refugees who aided our military for 2 decades. All of us have been deeply troubled by the chaotic American withdrawal from Afghanistan and the sad plight of the refugees who are now reaching our shores with only the clothes on their backs and the heartache of leaving loved ones and their homeland behind. RAMP needs your help. Refugee Assistance, Morris Partners, has been aiding Syrian and Afghan families since 2016. We are a 501c3 organization operating through the Community Foundation of New Jersey. We co-sponsor Middle Eastern families who arrive with SIV visas, proof of their having worked for the U.S. government, with IRC, the International Rescue Committee. We provide financial support to our families for 1 year or more. We have helped 6 families transition from lives of desperation in Syria and Afghanistan to happy, productive, and truly safe lives in Morris County. One of our young refugee girls composed a poem and created an artwork to speak of her appreciation of the changes in her life.
From fear to security. I am from a curious 8-year-old in a new country to a young teenager comfortable in her new home. From one adult landlord friend in Turkey to a dozen RAMP volunteer tutors and friends. I am from a neglected pupil in Turkey to inspiring teachers in Boone and Warren, guiding me to be an honor roll scholar. From confused to excited.
As Americans, we are generous and caring. Here's what we can do to help Afghan refugees now.
RAMP is looking for volunteers from local faith-based or civic organizations to serve as family teams with a leader coordinator to help settle new refugees in Morris County apartments. We have experienced members to serve as mentors. Each team needs 1 to 2 members per job: housing, welcome, social engagement, clothing, furniture, health, social services, transportation, employment, education, and ESL. I hope we can count on you or your organization or group to form a team like this. I hope we can count on you to donate. Please visit our website.
Thank you for that very important message of how we can help others in need. And now is the time that we light our chalice, the symbol of our faith. I will go ahead and light the candle, and then let's say together the words in your order of service. Together. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. And now, for those of you in the room, please turn to responsive reading number 534 in your gray songbook, and please join me for the words in italics, okay? This morning's responsive reading is entitled Gloria. Gloria, the tenacity of earth and its creatures. Kyrie eleison, the children will go on to save what we can. Baruch atah Adonai, of plants and of people. Om, the center of the universe, which is everywhere, not the least place in the human heart. Alleluia, love that survives anger and winter and despair and sorrow and even death. Shalom, love that persists. Nam Yong Yo Kriya Yo. I need help with this, I'm sorry. Thank you. Calm that is in need of the ark. Amen. For endings that are beginnings, for beginnings that are endings. Alleluia. For the circle, the spiral, the web, the egg, the orbit, the center, the seed, the flower, the fruit, the opening, the death, the release, the seed. Amen. We are going on. Amen. It is going on. Amen. Blessed be. And now an opening song from our music director, Stearns Matthews.
Am I on? Can you hear me? No. What about now? What about now? What about now? There we go. Good morning. As we prepare to have this opening song, as we inch closer to being able to sing together in this room, we're still not there yet. So I invite you to keep your mask on and hum to your heart's delight. And the words are in your order of service, and they're particularly beautiful, I think. So let's stand. Yeah, of course. And with gusto, hum. What gift can we bring? What present, what token, what words can convey it, the joy of this day? When grateful we come, remembering, rejoicing, what song can we offer in honor and praise? Give thanks for the past, for those who had vision, who planted and watered so dreams could come true. Give thanks for the now, for study, for worship, for mission that bids us turn prayer into deed. This gift we now bring, this present, this token, these words can convey it, the joy of this day. When grateful we come, remembering, rejoicing, what song we now offer in honor and praise.
Our children have children's chapel this morning outside, and I am just, my heart is jumping a little at the fact that more of them have access to their first vaccines this week. And so more of our children will be protected, and they too will be able to come indoors soon. Our opening story, To Whom Does the Land Belong, by Faye Mogensen. And that's for the younger children and the adults that are in the room with us at this time. A farmer decided to adventure to a far-off land. Before he left, he found a man who agreed to look after his property while he was away. The caretaker was told that he could grow whatever crops he liked on the land and keep whatever profit he made while the farmer was away. 1 year went by, 2 years disappeared, 10 years flew past. Finally, 20 years later, the landowner returned. When he arrived home, he could immediately see that the caretaker had done an excellent job. The fields were green and lush. Fruit hung heavy on the branches of the trees. He could hear the bleats and clucks of contented animals in the stable. The farm couldn't have been in better shape. When the caretaker recognized that the visitor was the farmer who had left so long ago, he invited him in for tea. The two men exchanged news and gossip, and the farmer thanked that caretaker heartily. As their conversation was drawing to a close, the farmer asked, "Where will you go now?" "Go," said the man. "Where should I go? After all these years of care and labor, surely this land belongs to me." The farmer was perplexed. "How could it possibly belong to you? It's mine, and it always has been." The two men argued for a long time. Finally, the only thing they could agree on was to take their dispute to a wise man who lived in the local village. The wise man listened very carefully to each of their arguments. He was puzzled by the case. After a while, the wise man came up with an idea. He said, "I say we consult a higher authority." The farmer and caretaker wondered who that might be. Would they need to travel to the city and take their case before the court? The wise man shook his head. He walked back to the farm with the two men. When they arrived, the wise man laid down on the ground and placed his ear right there on Mother Earth. The farmer and caretaker watched. The wise man lay there for a long time. Finally, he stood up, brushed off his rose, and declared, "The land, it belongs to neither of you." "What?" cried the two men together. "The land has told me that you belong to it." The wise man bowed his head in farewell and then turned back home. And the two men looked at one another for a very long time. And there is the end of Faye Mogensen's retelling of To Whom Does the Land Belong? And now it is the time in our service when the morning's offering will be given and received. 50% will go to support the works and the ministries of our fellowship. And this week, we are sharing 50% of our offering with the Interfaith Food Pantry. Thank you for your generosity. You can give in the basket by check or with cash. And you can also give in this room or online by going to our website and by text. Thank you for your generosity.
I've got a roof over my head. I've got a warm place to sleep. Some nights I lie awake counting gifts instead of counting sheep. I've got a heart that can hold love. I've got a mind that can think. There may be times when I lose the light and let my spirit sink, but I can't stay depressed when I remember how I'm blessed. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. In a city of strangers, I've got a family of friends. No matter what rocks and brambles fill the way, I know that they will stand till the end. I've got a hand holding my hand. It's not a hand you can Truly blessed and duly grateful.
Thank you so much, Lisa and Stearns. I'm a little caught. There we go. Okay, so this morning's reading is by Walt Whitman, entitled Miracles. Why? Who makes much of a miracle? As for me, I know of nothing else but miracles. Whether I walk the streets of Manhattan, or dart my sight over the roofs of houses towards the sky, or wade with naked feet along the beach just at the edge of the water, or stand under trees in the woods, or talk by day with anyone I love, or sleep in bed at night with anyone I love, or sit at a table at dinner with my mother, or look at strangers opposite me riding in the car, or watch honeybees busy around the hive of a summer forenoon, or animals feeding in the fields, or birds, or the wonderfulness of insects in the air, or the wonderfulness of the sundown, or of stars shining so quiet and bright, or the exquisite, delicate, thin curve of the new moon in spring. These, with the rest, one and all, are to me miracles. The whole referring, yet each distinct and in its place. To me, every hour of the light and dark is a miracle. Every cubic inch of space is a miracle. Every square yard of the surface of the earth is spread with the same. Every foot of the interior swarms with the same. All these, to me, are unspeakably perfect miracles. To me, the sea is a continual miracle. The fishes that swim, the rocks, the motion of the waves, the ships with men in them. What stranger miracles are there?
Let us honor the milestones that have happened in our lives since we last met. We have a milestone of transition from Mark Aronson and Brenda Fort. Aw. This will be our last time here as we are moving to Hawaii on December 1st. We do plan to return in 2 years, in parentheses, maybe, exclamation point. In the meantime, we wish everyone good health and happiness. We will miss you, and we are planning to join the Unitarian Universalist congregation in Oahu. With love, Mark and Brenda. Mark and Brenda, we wish you every happiness as well, which somehow seems like it might be easier in Hawaii as it turns towards winter. And know that we will continue to dance with you through the joyful times and to hold you should you have any challenges. And we're so glad to see you here inside before we part for a time. Thank you for being part of us. Mark has been a teacher of our children and many other things, and Brenda is one of the members of our Committee on Ministry and has also served in many other ways. You'll be missed. And now I invite you into the simplest, most important prayer there is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I invite you to call out into the room or to hold silently in your hearts as my arm crosses your path. I'll start on this side. To shout out, to call out, to whisper out experiences, people, things, anything for which you are grateful this morning. And online, I invite you to write it in our chat and to write it in the comments, either place, and I will delight in prayerfully looking at those later. So together, let us say, thank you, thank you, thank you. As my hand passes, you can call out.
Being here today, grandchildren, and kids' COVID shots. Electricity.
There to you online. You can write it in the chat.
My parents.
Sunshine. My parents.
No.
This beloved community.
For this beloved community, for all the things that are sweet and worth savoring, we give thanks. I remember the switch from the school bus to the public bus quite well. I was 10 years old and starting in a new school. My parents were nowhere to be seen as I climbed the stairs of the big blue bus a couple of blocks from our home on Madison Avenue, the bus on Madison Avenue. The world was expanding, and soon enough, I could get anywhere on my own. I looked back and scrutinized the mailboxes and all the other hiding places. No, my father wasn't shadowing me that morning. It was up to me to look both ways and to get it right. I was becoming an independent traveler, and anything seemed possible now that I was on my own. The bus stopped. I flashed my pass and inserted my 2 quarters in the machine, which I had earned from some chore or another. They made a satisfying sound as they clanged at the bottom. The clanging of freedom bells, I thought. The bus stopped every 2 blocks, and a group of adults and children climbed on board, and another group descended. What was different about the leave-taking than I remembered from my yellow bus the year before was that no one seemed to say thank you, as we all had to Joe, the bus driver, the year prior. I wondered about that guy in the front of the bus that nobody seemed to mind and whether I would ever see him again. In my mind's eye, I could hear all their parents saying, "Now what do you say?" as they approached the giant steps towards the streets below. But they didn't. Was it a kid's stuff to say thank you just because we couldn't drive yet? Or was it different because we had all paid for our rides? I saw my stop ahead, pulled the cord that signaled it was time to get off, and walked the semi-treacherous path towards the front of the bus as I had seen others do before me. I was just learning how to do this thing and soon realized I would wait till the bus stopped next time. It would require a few more years and more pounds and a lot more practice before I could safely navigate a moving city bus. Habit formed in my throat as I rounded the bus driver's area to step off. "Thank you," I said. For a split second, I wondered whether that was the right thing to do. He jerked his head around as if disturbed from a kind of slumber. A broad smile swept across his face, and he replied, "You're welcome." I thought to myself, maybe the others got it wrong. What an illusion I had at 10 years old to think that I would ever gain the freedom to be totally responsible for everything I did. I got there on my own. The floors and the pavements, the very ground I walked on that day was a result of someone else's labor. What a misunderstanding of human nature to imagine myself as independent. The home I left and the school I was heading towards were both filled with people without whom I could not learn, love, or survive. What a delusion to wonder whether adulthood or money meant not having to say thank you. Most of the gifts we receive in the course of an ordinary day are ones we neither deserve, and through investment of time or finances, and they are also free, gratis, and of infinite worth, like the ground beneath our feet. Yet I admit that these illusions of separateness, misunderstandings, and delusions of independence do creep in my brain from time to time. 2 words, thank and you, represent a simple but profound orientation around what it means to be human. First, as much as we may have participated in getting here, we could never have arrived without the help and contributions of others. Take today as an example. Many of you may have driven yourself here, but you didn't invent the car. Most likely you did not build your car, although here you never know. And you are only partly responsible for having the means and opportunity to buy a car if you own one. The arrival at any destination, whether a physical location, a station of life, or a quality of being, is never something for which we could ever claim total responsibility. Human beings are dependent and interdependent creatures. We never exist in any other state. Yet our language and our myths tend to support an idea of self-sufficiency. You might hear, "I appreciate a story about someone who pulled themselves up from their bootstraps," or "the story of child development is one of gaining independence." Through such stories, we embrace that illusion of separateness over and above all else. The problem is that rather than becoming bigger or enhancing our worth, these stories have a way of shrinking our world down to the smallest fraction, the part that we alone can take responsibility for. Thank goodness this is an illusion. Awareness of this fact and of our deeply relational nature opens us up to a world of possibilities beyond which we could ever achieve on our own. This orientation of awareness that everything we do and everything we have and even who we are is in part due to an other also paradoxically allows our unique gifts, powers, and abilities to unfold that would not be possible if we also were not willing to accept the limits of our gifts, our powers, and abilities. We accept our limits and embrace our interdependent nature by acknowledging the role that other people, forces of nature, and coincidences play in bringing us to the literal and metaphorical here. In order to do this fully, we must let go of the stories that cast us in the role of radical independence as a path to becoming mature and rewrite the script. The script becomes something like this. The earth and sun, water and carbon aligned in such a unique way that a life-giving principle was born. Life is a gift. My parents crossed paths long enough that I was born. My life is a gift. My cells have cooperated with one another long enough that I have lived and survived about 17,000 days, some tranquil, some treacherous. Each day is a gift. I live in Morristown, New Jersey, a place that has a unique history, landscape, and set of opportunities and challenges. This place I have arrived at partly by my choices, as well as the choices of others, and partly by coincidences, is a gift. The place I live and the land I belong to is a gift. I am a minister, a community organizer, a mother, a wife, a friend, amongst other identities. My way of being, my personality, and my experiences have led me to the here of these relationships. As much as I have free will and have made choices that led to this arrival, much of it is owed to an accident of birth. The ways my chemical makeup interacts with the world, the ways my mentors taught me to interact, and the coincidences of the chronology of chance meetings. My relationships with you and with so many others have been a great gift. I am also a survivor of trauma and loss. The particulars have to do with cancer, death, and crime, amongst others. The burdens along with my life have also been spiritual teachers. They have brought out in me responses that might otherwise lay dormant: compassion, a bit of wisdom, and the will to survive. The challenges of my life have offered gifts, even the ones that I consider the greatest burdens. The meditation that I just shared could go on without ceasing. The litany of things and events for which I could count among my blessings covers every inch of ground that has been traveled since before my birth to this very moment. It is really about an orientation towards this life that is grounded in a perspective that the uniqueness of who we are, how we got here, and where we are is an offering, a gift that is ours to unwrap, to discover and make use of on this day. That is something we are responsible for. The unwrapping of things that are simple, joyful, painful, undeserved, that have cost us a great deal, that are invisible, like the gifts of personality, love, and hope. The month of November, as we lead up to Thanksgiving, is not an opportunity to chide yourself if gratefulness isn't what you're feeling at this moment. But it is an opportunity to invite gratefulness to the table of your life, and hopefully in a fresh way. Gratitude has a measurable impact on the quality of our lives, especially in the areas of well-being, motivation, and relationships. Robert Emmons, the leading scientific expert on gratitude, defines two components. One, he shares, is an affirmation that there are good things in the world that we have benefited from. And two is a recognition from where that goodness comes, the people or things in our life that have conspired to offer us those gifts. While it is proven that some people have a greater disposition for gratitude than others due to both nature and nurture, there are studies exploring genetic markers that certain people have who seem to possess greater ease at experiencing gratitude. And there are studies that measure an increase in the ability to experience gratitude because of practice, which means that it's never too late to start, even if it's harder for you. In fact, studies of gratitude interventions show that sometimes taking a periodic, fresh approach to gratitude may matter more than some sort of rote, repetitive practice. What do you say? The most commonly studied practice is of gratitude journals. And it turns out it doesn't matter whether you journal every day or once a week. What does matter is that whatever you choose as a practice feels authentic to you, that it allows you to re-experience the feelings of appreciation, happiness, and connection again. So whether you write 5 things for which you're grateful last week or 1 thing a day doesn't matter. What matters is what sparks that feeling in you. So maybe it is a good thing that the Thanksgiving holiday only comes around once a year so that each year we can reawaken to the possibility of this practice. As you journal or walk or meditate, you might want to focus on the 4 components of gratitude as described by Andrea Hootsong and her team on Raising Grateful Children. She offers 4 components that you might think about on your journey in a journal or your journey on a hike. First, gratitude involves noticing, stopping, paying attention to what we receive, and recognizing that there are beautiful things that already exist, like that tree outside, like the children outside. Thinking, how did we receive those things? Why did we receive those things? Why that particular gift and how it unfolds in our life? The third aspect is feeling. How do we feel about what we have been given? Do we feel happiness or connection? That will translate into grateful feelings. And fourth, and this is so important, doing. What do we do to express gratitude and appreciation in turn? Do we offer a sincere thank you or a hug? Or are we inspired to pay it forward, giving to others so that they also receive? Noticing, thinking, feeling, and doing. That's what matters in whatever practice you choose. And as we mature in age or in practice, we will grow to inhabit the 4 elements. Gratitude has an impact on our well-being, our motivation, and our relationships. The feeling of authentic gratitude releases chemicals and shows up on MRIs, functional MRIs, in the parts of our brain that light up when we relax and when we feel a release of pain. A practice of gratitude can help ease suffering, psychological and physical, and also promote a healthy heart and a stronger immune system. There are some people who worry that a practice of gratitude will remove motivation. If we're just content with what we have, then will we cease to strive? But studies show the opposite is true. People who are able to cultivate more thoughts and feelings of appreciation and actions of acknowledgement, paying attention, and paying it forward, have more energy and appear to be able to get more things done. One reason might be that they recognize everything doesn't depend on them alone, so they do their part and take responsibility for that and appreciate what others do to make what they do possible. Gratitude grows our humility and grows our self-differentiation, and at the same time grows the possibilities for us. Gratitude is rooted in relationship. Gratitude is not, and this is very important, a denial of what is wrong or unjust, even as it is an affirmation of what is right. It's important to note that there are hardships that are out of our control and those that human beings have created. Gratitude doesn't eliminate hardships, and it may serve to highlight them. If you aren't physically able to walk up these steps, or if you broke up with a significant other, gratitude will not eliminate the physical challenge or the sadness. However, it may help you to see what other qualities you possess that allow you to rise in other ways. And in the second example, it may lead to appreciation for an ending to what was no longer working. However, as Barbara Ehrenreich cautions, gratitude isn't appropriate in every instance where you receive something. And she gives this example. If a Walmart employee is given a $1 raise to her $9 an hour salary, should she feel grateful to the Waltons, who are the richest family in America? Or to the CEO of that corporation who makes $1 million a year? No. Again, we have to think. It matters who is giving and who is receiving, and what they are giving and what they are receiving. Is gratefulness for a $1 raise in that case an authentic expression of mutuality and the worth and dignity of each person? How might a CEO who recognizes that where they are in life because of earned and unearned gifts and incredible unearned privilege, how might an ethic of gratitude that promotes and puts communal well-being, mutual motivation, and authentic relationships at the center of a corporation, a congregation, a hospital, or any organization require changes to the structure and culture of that entity? How might gratitude, authentic gratitude, pierce the worldview of that CEO, or for all of us this year? An ethic of gratitude helps us to see from the perspective of God, or Mother Earth, or plain old-fashioned goodness. That farmer and the caretaker were both only able to see themselves and their self-interest in the story. The caretaker wouldn't have had the land to work had the farmer, the original owner, not bought it. And the original owner would not have such fertile soil had that caretaker not taken such thoughtful care. They are both only partially responsible for the success. Neither created the good earth on which they stood while having the argument, and that plot of earth will still be there after them, after they are gone, as it was before they were born. It was there, unearned by each. Gratitude is an invitation to enlarge the hour in counting our blessings, to enlarge the we that we care about, and to recognize that while it is so easy to say thank you, it takes practice to live thank you faithfully and well our whole lives long. So consider the first Sunday in November, and not the last, your annual month-long checkup on how much thankfulness you have to harvest this year, and a time to begin a plan for even more lush plantings for next. So you'll have even more to give away. May it be so, friends. May it be so. And now, will you join in our closing song, We Give Thanks? Or will you join in rising and humming our closing song, Oh, We Give Thanks?
Yes, rising and humming. And this is a special one because this song, you may recall, is an echo song. It's call and response. And your part is just straight up echo. You don't have to do anything fancy. But today, it's a choose your own adventure echo song because you can either sing with me or echo with Lisa. Right? I think it's more exciting than it sounds. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. All are gathered here, and those far away. For this time we share, with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. For all gathered here and those far away. For this light we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. For all gathered here and those far away. For this joy we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
Thank you for being. Thank you for being here. Thank you for singing here. Thank you for the warmth of here. Thank you for the beauty out there. Thank you for being here and online together. Blessed be, and go in peace.
Yeah, it's a big one.